Hi, everyone. We have all heard these common sayings: love transcends time, love never dies, love makes the world go around. And for those of you who are Christians, there's a popular verse in the Bible found in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 13, that says, "And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." Love is what connects souls in the afterlife. But finding and keeping love here on earth is a little bit more challenging when human beings are not perfect. So, how do you attract love when there's no formal education or an official training manual on love and relationships? For most people, love seems more like an ideal and elusive fantasy rather than a reality. Cinderella was a nice fairy tale that many children grew up with, magically believing and romanticizing that to be their role model of love. Unfortunately, upon entering a young adulthood, as people fall in love, get married, and hope to live happily ever after, many realize soon enough that love just doesn't magically last forever. There is obviously more to love than Cinderella and Prince Charming riding off into the sunset to a perfect life. Contrary to the unrealistic and limited role models of real love from childhood, if you want to attract love into your life, you need to love yourself first. And what I mean to love yourself is the same concept as self love. And by self love, I'm not referring to an unhealthy, narcissistic kind of self love, but rather a healthy, wholesome love that fosters well being. Between the Cinderella fairy tale and the dysfunctional families most people have grown up with, it is no wonder why the divorce rate is still high and more people are now choosing to remain single and not marry. Looking at last year's 2025 statistics, the divorce rate is 40 to 50%, and 47% of adults under 30 years old are single. Given these statistics, it's easy to understand why many people have given up on love. And with so many failed relationships, some have even stopped searching for a marriage partner. But folks, I have good news, and I'm still hopeful that love can prevail if you open your minds and hearts to learning how to love yourselves. If you are or have been struggling to attract a loving partner, then I encourage you to make the commitment today to self love. To attract love, the first step is to practice self love. Please check out one of my older previous videos called "What is Self Love?" Think back on your last few relationships. If you find yourself in toxic relationships repeatedly, then chances are you unknowingly have low self esteem and are still playing out unhealthy behaviors from old childhood wounds that will require you to seek counseling in order to finally heal. Repeated patterns of unhealthy relationships are red flags that you need to take seriously and get professional help because you are the common denominator in all of your relationships. Okay, so um, I just want to stop right here, and um, I just want to say that we're pretty much all in the same boat. Okay, none of us grew up with perfect role models, and a lot of us didn't really have role models, right? I mean, like I said, there's not a lot of education out there, so most of us are just kind of shooting in the dark when it comes to dating and marrying and trying to find our way around to find our way in life to find the right person to pair up with. So I just want us, to not beat ourselves up, but to just realize that given all this, okay, it's never too late. We can still learn some new skills, right? We can learn, and most importantly, I want to emphasize is that I think the key is to learn to love yourself. Okay, that is crucial to attracting the right partner. While it's tempting to massage your egos by adopting the victim mentality, blaming others for your failed relationships, will only provide you a false sense of security and keep you blinded to the changes needed for your own healing and personal growth. Let me say that again. While it's tempting to massage your egos by adopting the victim mentality, blaming others for your failed relationships will only provide you a false sense of security and keep you blinded to the changes needed for your own healing and personal growth. What you need to realize is this: Who you're with is who you accepted into your life. Let me repeat this. Who you're with is who you accepted into your life. You can't keep blaming your partner. As it's been said, it takes two to tango. Let's face it, most of you weren't forced or coerced into your relationships. You have the freedom to choose whoever you wish to date and form relationships with, right? So it's time to take personal responsibility for your choices of relationships that you have allowed into your lives thus far. I invite you to take this important first step of self love. Okay, now I just want you to not misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that it's necessarily your fault. All right, it's not actually. I'm not saying it's all our fault if a relationship fails or if the person, if whatever reason the relationship ended. But what I am saying is that we all know of people, or if we want to be truthful, maybe we ourselves are playing the victim mentality. It's easier to point the finger at others than look in the mirror and see and to maybe own a share of our own responsibility in a failed relationship. So this is just to bring awareness, because I think many people are blindsided. It's easier just to say right off a relationship, say it's so and so's fault. But even if the relationship was really, really a bad relationship, and the partner you picked out was not a very good, nice person, the fact is you still pick that person out, right? And vice versa. So all I'm saying here is that we need to realize that we have a part. Unless we were coerced into the relationship, we ourselves have a part in the choosing of this partner. So it's never 100% fault on somebody else. Even if we have to take 5% or 10% blame, the fact is we agreed, we allowed this person into our lives. So we have to take some ownership of the relationship, right? So that's all I'm saying here is that part of the first step to part of healing and learning to love yourselves, that we need to recognize that we have to stop playing the victim mentality and always, and then you can always recognize people that have that mentality. They're the ones that will say, oh, woe me, the world owes me, everything always goes wrong in my life, it's everyone doesn't like me or everyone is mean. No, folks. Okay, there's good and bad people in the world. Who you choose to enter your life is partially your responsibility as well. It's never 100% on somebody else, unless you were forced into that relationship, which I doubt. Most of us who entered a dating relationship or formed a relationship with somebody, it's usually we allowed that person in, just like your partner allowed you into their lives, right? It's a mutual consent relationship. When you learn to love yourself, you will understand what a healthy relationship is, how to build a healthy relationship, and most importantly, be able to attract a loving partner. Time is precious, and time is the one thing you can never get back. The sooner you can heal, the sooner you can learn to love yourselves and love others in a healthy way. In summary, I believe love is worth pursuing despite all the challenges and hard work needed to build a successful and happy relationship. After all, everyone deserves a life of love. It is my sincere hope that you will experience life's greatest blessing of happiness, to love and be loved. Life doesn't get sweeter than that, in my opinion. So no matter how many failed relationships you've been in, or no matter how old you are, it's never too late to learn to love yourself to attract love. Okay, folks? And I just want to stop right here real quick and just introduce you to this book. My most recent book that I wrote is called Fairy Tales Are for Frogs, The Reality of Happily Ever After. It's a short read, okay? And I would encourage you to get this book if you are in a long-term relationship or if you're married and you find yourself feeling unfulfilled or unhappy. Okay, this book will help you sort through your emotions. It will help you figure out how to get happy. Okay, and it's all part of self-love. I have steps in here. Uh, there's steps in here on how to get happy and find happiness from within. So it's a good read for those of you who are feeling unfulfilled in your relationships. Okay, you can find my books. I have actually 4 books. This is the most recent book that I've written. They're all on Amazon.com. You can also find the link to Amazon on my profile page in YouTube. Okay, so just want to bring this to your attention. Please check it out. All right, folks. If you resonate with this video, please click like and click share. If you have any comments or questions, or if you want to add your own opinions and comments to what we discussed today, please feel free to put them in the comments. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel so that you can be kept updated on all my future videos. Okay? So I want to thank all of you for taking the time to watch this video, and I wish all of you happiness and being able to uh, love yourself to attract love. All right. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.